My name is Chip Calwell, and I'm a school counselor for Fortune Academy, Center for Learning Disabilities. And we have come up, the staff and the kids and I, have come up with a pretty interesting and fun way to teach cognitive behavioral therapy. For those of you who don't know what cognitive behavioral therapy is, it's a very well researched and very popular method to help kids, adolescents, and adults with depression and anxiety. It basically is like the devil and the angel on each shoulder. When we have some negative thing that happens to us in our life, some event which tends to have us think negative things about ourselves, then we have this big flood of emotions followed by these negative thoughts. It's all my fault. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse. My life will be like this forever. Those kind of things. What we want to do is fight those thoughts, and the way to do that is, one, calm down, then rethink our thinking. So that's the basic idea of cognitive behavioral therapy, and I'll show you how to do all that here in just a few minutes. Now, for those of you who require a step-by-step, moment-by-moment way to do a lesson plan, I recommend Martin Seligman's The Optimistic Child. It's also a good way to understand the concept of cognitive behavioral therapy. We at Fortune Academy came up with being dyslexic, came up with a little shorter way to do it and a little more fun way to do it, I think. We've invented a game show, which I think is a lot of fun and the kids certainly enjoy, and is a really good learning technique. Here's the first technique, the game show.
Hello, and welcome to What Would You Think? I'm your host, Josh Prideaux. And now, introducing our contestants. First, we have the doctor from Las Vegas, Nevada, Jacob Freudenthal. And second contestant for the day is Billy Bob Joe, a farmer from the Bayou. And so, would you like to know what you're competing for today?
Yeah.
You are competing for a brand new Chevy Camaro, plus a lifetime supply of coverage from Geico. 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance. So, do you all know how the game show works? We are going to show the first scenario, and you are going to answer that wonderful question, what do you think? All right, let's get to it. Our first scenario.
Well, hello, Connie. Hi. I was wondering, would you like to dance with me?
Starting now.
Okay.
Ooh, ouch. And so now, what would you think?
No girls are ever like me.
Ooh, I'm sorry, but that's not the answer we're looking for. Jacob?
Why would I want to go out with a girl that does not want to go out with me?
Correct! Jacob, you have 100 points on the board, and Joe is stuck with 0. Hello, and we are back with What Do You Think? For some strange reason, Billy Bob Joe decided during our commercial break that he had to go, so taking his place is his cousin, Joe Billy Bob. Jacob right now is up with 100 points, while Joe Billy Bob is down with 0. He has to catch up for his cousin. And so now, are you ready to compete for that brand new car? What is a car? What's a car? All right, and now our next scenario.
So you know the new Twilight movie that came out?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Twilight? It was so good.
That was so annoying.
She always has one expression. It's like,
I know. It was like,
oh, she made me so frustrated. Oh, her stupid decision. I was so angry.
Do
you hear the bell again?
Yeah. I need that. Okay.
And so now, what do you think?
I'll never have any friends.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Although that might be true, that is not the answer we're looking for. Jacob?
They were too wrapped up in their conversation, and I could probably find better friends.
Correct! And now Jacob has another 100 points. Well, Job and Bob, you're still stuck with 0. Hello, and we are back with What Do You Think? Jacob's only 100 points away from that brand new Chevy Camaro. While Joe Billy Bob still has 0. Do you think he can catch up there? I doubt he will. And so now, our last scenario.
You guys suck! Can't make a single shot!
And so now, what do you think? Any day now.
I'm a horrible basketball player and I will never be good at anything.
I'm sorry, that is not the correct answer. Jacob?
With a little bit more practice, I will get better.
And we have a winner! Here are your keys to your brand new Chevy Camaro! What do you think?
Of all the techniques I show you today, the most critical and the learning part of it is what I'm going to show you now. I'm going to call it the response board. And what the response board is 2 sides, blackboard, whatever you want to use. 2 sides. One side has the thoughts that are the scared, made up thoughts. When something happens to us negatively, we get all these emotional rush, we get all these crazy thoughts. The other side is when we calm down and we're able to think more reasonably and more rationally. The kids made up every scenario you saw in that. I didn't come up with these. The kids came up with their own scenario, wrote the story, and then we shot the story. Then you ask them, what would you feel like if that happened to you? And they say, it's all my fault, I'm stupid. All the stuff that we would think and the negative things we would use against yourself, you just write them up on the board on this side. Then you go to the other side, which is the fact side, which is a little bit harder because it's tough for them to come up with it. What kind of things would you think about that would help you feel better by what you might do, or what's facts that you would think about, or when you're calmer, is your thinking straighter? You can also ask them, have you ever had a time when you got really emotionally upset and did stupid things that you wish you hadn't done, or said things you wish you hadn't said? And everybody says yes, including me. Then you write those down as you can. If they come up with something like, I'm all right guy, make sure you put in there, I'm an all right guy because, and then write that in. Okay? Solutions definitely count us helping feel better. This is real cognitive behavioral therapy. This is the essence of it all. Well, if you looked at the game show and thought, how in the world am I going to get all of that stuff, all those costumes, all those props? All you really need is this. You can get it at your office supply store, probably for $5. You can use a buzzer, you can slap the table. There's all different things you can do. Obviously, the more stuff that you do, where you do have costumes, I have wigs and props with the game show names on them, and the big sign in the background. If you can do all of that, and the more the kids get into it, the more they'll get out of it. But that's not always possible. All you really need is a bell. In case you really want to jazz up your show, you can buy one of these noisemakers from Trainer's Warehouse. I think they're about $40. You can have all kind of sound effects here. Hooray, right and wrong. But that's absolutely not necessary. You can also have a chorus of kids on the side who are your cheerers and, you know, the people who say those things, and you can cue them to do it during the show. So it's just an additive.